Aren't you angry enough? Unilever, one of the biggest corporate companies that use vivisection, are profiting from vegan ice cream. The Tories voting that animals are not sentient beings and are therefore unable to feel pain. Judges repeatedly pardoning and excusing hunting communities all over the country just so they can continue their gruesome blood sports. Aren't you angry enough? How many more times can you bear to watch yet another innocent being driven to their slaughter? How many more times do you need to hear of another horse being shot at the races? How many more times do these things need to happen until we stand up and make sure that they cannot and will not profit from the fear and suffering of innocent creatures ever again? Let's remember why we are here. We are here to achieve total animal liberation, not to enlarge the vegan aisle in the supermarket. We are here to stand beside the exploited and aid them to achieve the freedom that is rightfully theirs, not to convert those who consume animal flesh into simply consuming veggie burgers with no rage inside of them. Aren't you angry enough? The British state has kidnapped animal rights activist Sven van Hasselt and will keep him for 5 years based on a law specifically tailored to stop him and his co-workers from bringing a vivisection company to the ground. The German government has taken UP3 behind bars because she dared to protect nature. The states have taken Red Fawn, Joseph Dibby, Walter Bond, Marius Mason, and an uncountable number of people because they dared to act for a better world. Doesn't that make you angry enough? Let us read you a letter from an anonymous comrade that wishes not to be named. It's the 5th of November, the day Barry Horn died. A team of 4. 1 van, 1 crowbar, 1 spray can. Another fucking shed. Filthy, full of scared chickens, piles of shit, and a metal grid as a floor. Systematically, we load box after box until 100 hens are waiting for us in the back of the van. 100 animals from that day will live on surrounded by love until they pass. The camera person lets us know they have taken enough footage for a video. It has taken us 12 minutes. I take special delight in smashing the machine that disinfects the eggs hanging from the ceiling. I then turn back and focus on the conveyor belt that transports the eggs from the shed to the front room. The farmer probably doesn't visit the hens more than once every couple of months. Everything is automated. Much better. The more machinery, the more to be destroyed. Behind me, eggs are flying in all directions, smashing against the floor. The team has managed to flip up a pallet of packaged eggs and the floor is now dripping with a sticky mess. Another shed, another night, another raid. This time, though, it isn't enough with just taking some animals. I want the farmer to cry when they wake up in the morning. I want them to see the pain they are causing. Fuck, I'd like to bankrupt them. Someone points out the time. 20 minutes since entering. The machines are destroyed. We've just about left the water and feed intact to make sure the rest of the hens don't die. I jump back in the van and sit on the floor with the birds. I pull a few eggs from my pocket and crack them open, showing the hens for the first time what probably is their favorite treat now. They seem happy between the mess, splashing egg all over my face. They will be much happier tomorrow when they feel grass for the first time. Meanwhile, I feel destroyed. I always leave a piece of myself behind with all the other animals I cannot take with me. Another shed, another night, another raid. Another step closer until each and every one of them are free. This letter is just to show one of the many raids carried out in the last 12 months. 431 animals in the UK have been reported as liberated, and 20,000 partridges were released to the wild since the last AR march. 431 animals, plus as many unreported ones, plus the sabotage of traps and shooting towers, butcher shops, meat trucks, and an uncountable list of actions to further the cause of animal liberation. This amalgamation of actions between the overground and underground scene is key to revolution. Diversity of tactics was, is, and will be the only way to achieve systematic change. Direct action gets the goods, but by itself is ineffective if we don't create social conscious of why morality and legality don't align, and if we don't start supporting those behind actions and those behind bars. Sure, spray painting "Go Vegan" on the butchers in Kent didn't get the butcher's son to stop eating meat. However, it did start a conversation. In newspapers and on the TV and on social media, arguments against the so-called vandals and discussions about the legitimacy of meat consumption popped up left, right, and center. That is the key to total liberation. That mix between the action and the effect it causes, the conversations that people will have afterwards, the questioning of any and all moral baseline that constructs our society. There are only 3 ALF guidelines. Number 1, to liberate animals from their hell. Number 2, to cause economic damage to those who profit from them. Number 3, to not harm anyone, human or non-human, in the process. We have been given the green light to announce something historical. After a few years' gap, the UK now has an Animal Liberation Front press officer. They can now speak out for activists and explain their actions. So, we will ask again, how many more animals need to die? How many more millions do they need to make? How many more days of torture inside a lab? How many more photos do you need to see? What is it that you need to get angry enough?